Welcome everyone to episode 75 of Regenesis Live. Today we explore what might be the most important question for every leader. How do you cause people to do the things that create the results that really matter? In other words, how do you become the interventionist? Because when you become a leader, you're not doing the things from your own hand. You are basically influencing others, you are motivating others to do more. So how those skillful you become the skillful party, how you become capable of shaping the outcomes. We have got a powerful panel with us: Miss Angela Ellery, Mr. Thomas Wells, Mr. CS Rajiv Bajaj, and myself, Mr. Sunil Kumar. And a major announcement for everyone who leads, facilitates, or consults. Let's get started with Angela. Over to you, Angela.
Thanks so much. Let's begin here with the moment you step up to any management or leadership role. This is also the moment you stop contributing part or all of your frontline efforts. Increasingly, your contribution can only be through others. So the real question becomes, how do you help others perform better? How do you intervene to cause people to do the things to create the results required? That's the core of being a professional interventionist, the one who knows how to influence outcomes at just the right moment. And this is the role, and this role is deeply ethical, because the minute you're causing others, action in others, you're crossing into questions of power, influence, and integrity. At Regenesis, we're giving away hundreds of copies of Jeannie Z. Labord's Influencing with Integrity. Why? Because it captures that tension, not manipulating, not forcing, but guiding people to a moment of genuine choice. So many frameworks pit group interest against individual interest. For groups to succeed, the individual has to be uplifted by the group. By sharing positive and negative motivations, shared and expressed, groups connect and can work together even when the purposes of the group are relatively vague. If you can help people freely choose the right thing and connect, you've done your job with integrity and skill. You've intervened to cause people to do the things that create the results required. For us, this is about helping people identify what matters most, working to bring about positive change, true wealth, and well-being. For all, as we've discussed so much in these talks, for us, this is about building a future worth striving for. To intervene ethically and skillfully does not mean doing the easy thing. We constantly face the struggle between cooperation and conflict because we're pulled in many different directions by strong opposing forces, such as inner positive motivation, financial reward, and inner barriers, feelings and inadequacy, and overt behavior that moves towards positive motivation, or overt behaviors that move away from positive motivation. These behaviors are often survival strategies. They're understandable, but limited in the sense of benefiting us, but not them. Or they are for short-term gain rather than for long-term view. They pull us away from our more expansive goals of true wealth and well-being for all. We need better ways to cooperate at high levels of complexity, and we need new ways of addressing the complexity that enables greater cooperation to take place. This calls for adaptability. An adaptable, flexible approach encourages personal insight, uncovers shared values, and helps groups create a way forward. The approach reflects their needs and aspirations of groups to intervene together to make intentional change. It means changing a behavior in the service of chosen values. Becoming more adaptable as leaders and managers is essential for navigating change. And essentially, this means cultivating self-awareness and responsiveness, which is necessary to enhance psychological flexibility and strengthen relationships. It also means developing a sense of shared purpose and vision, and engaging in collective action and co-creation. These are the capabilities required in today's world, and I'll come back to this shortly. But first, speaking of capability, I'd like to bring in someone who's helped thousands of leaders develop theirs over decades. The founder of Regenesis and a lifelong interventionist himself, Mr. Thomas Welsh.
Thank you, Angela, and thank you, Sunil, for that very opening and exciting, I think, introduction to what we're really about today. So let's go perhaps a little layer deeper. And the truth is, intervention is a technical craft. Every time you step into a situation to make something happen, it's not random, it's built on method, because every situation is probably not something you've seen before. It's a prototype. So you're going in to gather data about the situation. You're going to think about all the ways that you could intervene or not. And in fact, even not intervening is an intervention in itself because you've decided not to do so. So think about all the ways you could intervene and then make your intervention. So there's lots of tools we can use, and the big ones that we kind of start with within Regenesis and we show other people how to use are, in particular, John Heron's work. He was the person who wrote the Facilitator's Handbook, the original Facilitator's Handbook. And really that's about making things easy and finding ways to intervene. And he talks about the 6 categories of intervention. And these run from prescriptive all the way through supportive. Prescriptive, obviously, being tell people what to do. Then there's theory principles, explain to them the theory around the best way of doing things. Then the next way is to confront them, perhaps with the brutal facts and the truth and the way the system is currently working. The next one, so you've got prescriptive, you've got theory principles, you've got confronting. And then what about the emotional side of things, the emotional impact? Sometimes humans get stuck because of a pile of emotional issues. And maybe some will be positive, they get overexcited, or maybe they get angry, or they get upset, whatever. But there can be a whole range of feelings that need to be released for things to move on. And then beyond that, you've got catalytic skills. Can you introduce very carefully crafted or worded questions? And then finally, perhaps you don't need to do anything. All you need to do is to encourage and support other people in doing the right thing, because it's clear to you as the interventionist that they already know pretty much everything they need to know and will do a good job if left to their own devices and encouraged and supported. So those are the 6 kind of intervention categories you've got to play with. And also to think about the law of requisite variety. We often talk about this, and that the law of requisite variety states that the person with the most behavioral flexibility, both inside themselves, in other words, the way they use their mind and their inner self, and their external behavior in the world, the way they interact with others and other things, the person with the most flexibility there will have the most influence. And then, of course, when you work with us, we talk about the 3 masteries. Self-mastery, in other words, having command over the way you think and the way you work and the way you react and respond to situations. Then there's social mastery, the way you interact with others. Have you got a full repertoire of capabilities there? And then finally, situational mastery. What is it you need to know about a situation if you're going to intervene skillfully as a change agent? All of these things combine together make you a skillful party, not just present in a situation, but actually able to be effective because you're able to make a decision about what to do next. Research shows that the number 1 differentiator between average and high-performing leaders is their ability to tailor interventions to different people. in different contexts at different moments. And now we're making this capability available to you week by week, moment by moment. First, we're launching, this is our big announcement this week, we're launching our new newsletter, The Individual Interventionist. And every week, we're going to publish one practical strategy every Saturday, and it will explain exactly how you can intervene to create a particular result. And over a period of time, these are going to build up to quite a bank of valuable interventions that you can make wherever you are. So what we would say to you today is be sure to sign up now and get on the list. The first one will arrive with you this coming Saturday, probably about mid-morning, I would think. But if you sign up now, the link you need is www.regenesisworks.com/TII. That's www.regenesisworks.com/TII. And then secondly, every Wednesday, except the first Wednesday of each month, and we'll come to that shortly, right here in this, what we've had as our podcast slot, one of us will showcase one single intervention for you during that day. Practical, powerful, and proven. And the way that will work, you'll come and we'll walk you through and carefully explain how to use an intervention. And then we'll give you a story, and if you like, an anecdote that shows where the impact it made and the kind of difference it made when it was used last. And third, we're launching a new monthly event, which is the Intervention Hothouse. And this is where you can come to a much smaller group than we do here, because obviously we might be talking to hundreds or thousands of people in this broadcast. But this is the Intervention Hothouse, a private group with just 20 seats, and it's paid for, but it's either $60 or £50 or 5,000 rupees. But this is a significant coming together of top people. So bring your challenges, bring your questions, bring things you want to craft an intervention on, and get help from the Regenesis team and everybody else that's on that particular broadcast. And that's what capability means today. Someone who knows this deeply and from front lines of transformation is our next speaker. So please welcome Mr. Rajiv Bajaj. Rajiv, over to you.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Thanks, everyone, for your very important inputs. So, now the theme which I would discuss is real world impact on capabilities in action for leaders and organizations. And in every successful transformation I have seen, whether in a startup or a scale up or large enterprises, the difference maker was not the strategy, but the interventional capability of the leadership team. So that is where the intervention becomes all the more important and very, very, exceptional quality which leadership team should have. And that's where just Thomas mentioned about that we as a team can come in, and Regenesis can actually empower your team to have those interventional capabilities. At Regenesis, we call this as a supernumerary layer, a capability layer that isn't part of daily operation but exists to liberate growth, and that is what we stand for. We actually make your organization grow at a much faster speed at which you are currently growing. So we help organization do three things through intentional interventions. One, we align people, get intentions, strategies, and individual roles synchronized. And that is where we have found most of the companies have gaps. So the alignment of the vision and the action is always not in tandem. And that is where I think we can come in. We can align your people to the company vision and to the organizational growth story. Second, the most important thing is maximize flow. So we streamline operations, finances, and mutual success. So the flow of communication, the flow of actions, the flow of all the data-driven decision making also starts happening in one direction, and that is where the mutual success starts happening, and the corporate also starts understanding that we are flowing in a particular direction, and we actually make sure that that maximization of flow happens through the streamlining of operations through Regenesis special tools. And of course, we try and empower people and try and make them more robust in terms of the data-driven capabilities and other capabilities. Um, then, of course, comes the catalyzation of expansion. We unleash the latent potential, fractalize action, and embed innovation. So, innovation, of course, is the heart of any organization's growth story. So that is where we work with the organization to try and move at a different pace. And none of this happens without leaders who know how to intervene. And remember, interventions must match the moment. Sometime you confront, sometime you support, sometime you catalyze. If you want to master these interventions, sign up for a Saturday newsletter, The Individual Interventionist, which is on www.regenesisworks.com/TII. So Thomas also shared the same with you. So as if you to live want live live help with your toughest challenges, book into interventional hothouse, only 20 seats per month, which of course very if you are paying in a dollar terms, $60 or 5,000 rupees, and it could be worth 100x that that we can promise you. So let us all look into what we have to offer, and you can actually build a strong team, a resilient team, through the change leadership and the change management practices which we are offering you through this intervention. Now, to take us deeper into the what this means for teams and results, please welcome my colleague and fellow interventionist, Mr. Sunil Kumar. Over to you, Sunil.
Thank you, thank you, Rajiv. So we have discussed the insight of interventionist, why it is required when you are in leadership role. Then you are basically in a role of interventionist. You are not doing the things from your own hand. But you have to influence others. So you need the skill set of that. So you need the mastery of those skill set. You have to develop the framework, the application. So overall, if I have to say in one word, so you have to build the repertoire of interventions. The question is that how to do it. The question is the result, the outcome is totally depend on how successfully you are doing these interventions. So every result in your life, I'm not talking only at professional front, even in your life, in your team or in your organization, the every result is basically based on the interventions you have made. Either you have succeeded or you have failed. So if you want to do the things in better way, so you need better interventions. So how as a regenesis we help you, and that is the reason we always call that regenesis is a system. It is a process. And this system, believe me, we have built with the experience, with our combined experience of more than 100 years. And this is not for one industry, this is not for two industry, this is in multiple industry and a global experience. So you can understand the value of those systems what have been built. And again, I will insist it here that it is a proven system. It has given the result to thousands of managers, leaders across the globe. So here it is an opportunity for you. And those system have been built on the basis of behavioral sciences, system design, and deeply human principles. You know that strategy doesn't matter alone. As an interventionist, you have to see the human side. You should understand the behavioral science. So how those interventions will be more fruitful, how those interventions will be more effective, that is very, very important. So our entire purpose is to make the capability assessment to every level of leadership. It may be a startup, it may be enterprises, it may be public sector, it may be NGOs, it may be boards, it may be directors, it may be CEOs. So the Regenesis growth engine helps you grow more with less. And I repeat it, grow more with less. But why it is so? Because when you join us, when you take our services, when you understand our processes, so we help you, we join you at every step, we support you at every step, and that intervention is a smart intervention. So how to make your intervention smarter, that is very, very important. So let us recap for three next steps, three next action you have to take to ensure that you are working smartly and your intervention is smart. So the first step is that you have to subscribe your individual interventionist. And that is, what is that? That is our newsletter, actionable weekly, and believe me, this is totally free, because our purpose is that whatever we have learned, whatever system we have developed, more and more people should take the advantage of that system and help to grow the organization, help to grow the individual, help to grow the whole world, and add value in this world. The second important is join us every Wednesday except the first Wednesday of the month, and that is also free of cost, 30 minutes shared live session as we are doing today. The third important is that reserve your seat for the intervention hothouse, and that is going to happen for only for 20 people, because we want to keep it small, and that is going to happen every month, first Wednesday. So here it is a chance for you, and the price we have kept, that is very, very minimal, which is affordable, which is which will give the tremendous result to you. And believe me, once you will come in the board, if you will do it practically, you will start enjoying it, because we will help you in implementing those things. We are not here to give you the lecture. We are here to give you the real example, the real support, the real handhold. So that is the power, what value we are going to add. So please join us and take this opportunity. Seats are very limited. The price is very, very minimal. That is $60. That is only 5,000 rupees. You can understand the value of 5,000 rupees in today's world. So now to close us out and share powerful vision of what all this could mean, please welcome back our first speaker, Angela. Angela, over to you.
Thank you, Sunil, for that recap. So the Regenesis system is now being outlined in the Individual Interventionist, our weekly newsletter. This describes the technical mastery of intervention, the skills, the frameworks, and the application, which are all based on behavioural science and a proven framework that helps people and organisations maximise our long-term welfare. I've just mentioned that for sustainable positive change in governance and adaptability, 3 broad processes are needed to be addressed. And these involve self-mastery, social mastery, and situational mastery. Firstly, we need to cultivate self-awareness and responsiveness. This demands a shift in mindset, more awareness from both leadership and team members that emphasises the ongoing quest for improvement. It's a commitment to perpetual growth and resilience and an unpredictable corporate climate. It's about adaptability, personal growth, increasing the capacity for change in response to our changing environment or to achieve our aspirations. We are required to take a broader perspective on our experiences so that we can respond consciously rather than reactively to our environment. We need to be willing to address the need for inner change to accomplish our outer change. And it's essential that we learn to observe and discriminate our world more consciously to enable us to intentionally act in relation to it more effectively. Secondly, we must develop a sense of shared purpose and vision. This is a necessary first step in designing the governance arrangements. A sense of shared vision, values, and purpose is needed for any group to align between everyone in the group and coordinates its activities to accomplish its collective goals. Then lastly, if we are to create sustainable growth, it's essential to engage in collective action and co-evolution. We need to cooperate and co-create in the right way. We need to reflect on how best to guide and support the group or organisation in employing these principles and cultivating more effective, trusting and collaborative working relationships. And we must consider how the community or organisation could more successfully interface and interact with the broader society. Of course, there must also be protections against the activities that benefit some members at the expense of others and the group as a whole. This is the basis of the framework for the Regenesis growth engine. It enables us to evolve collective best practice at every level of the system. The approach emphasizes growth, iterative improvement and adaptation within teams and organizations. The focus is on flexibility, efficiency, and continuous enhancement of business processes, all crucial to evolve in response to internal and external pressures and foster a culture of constant progress. The processes are mapped out in 12 domains of practical interventions, an approach we call the Regenesis growth engine. The approach provides action-based learning on the journey to greater adaptability, skillful and ethical management. So to close, let's imagine a future charged and changed by interventionists for good. What if every leader at every level had the capability and integrity to intervene skillfully? What would it mean for our organizations, economies, societies, and planet? That's the future we can build, one intervention at a time, and it starts with us, right here, right now. So remember to sign up for the newsletter, show up for the hothouse, and step up as interventionists, as the interventionists you were born to be. Thank you,
Angela,
for joining
before
us.
you close,
Yes, Thomas.
can I just add some web links there for the newsletter and the hot house? I realise
Sure.
we haven't mentioned them since the beginning. So if you want to sign up for the newsletter, The Individual Interventionist, the web link you need is www.regenesisworks.com/TII, standing for The Individual Interventionist. So that's www.regenesisworks.com/TII. And if you want to book your spot in the intervention hothouse with just 19 other people, then the link you need is www.regenesisworks.com/TIH. So that's www.regenesisworks.com/TIH. And follow the links, and the rest should be plain sailing. Any problems, drop us an email or message us on LinkedIn. Okay, back to you, Angela, to close.
Great. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for that reminder. And thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday. And in the next week's session, we'll be talking about Intervention 101, Trust and Understanding. Until then, have a great week, and thank you for listening.